Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're new here, subscribe. Everyone like the video. Oh, man. A lot going on today to talk about. Subscribe. Everyone like the video. Let me get this. There we go. All right, just wanted to fix my mic. Oh, man, there's so many things going on. Wanted to fix my mic. Doing a sound check. Oh, man. If you love Trump, give me a 1. I'll put my 1 in there. There we go.
So again, watch your speed.
Got about 90 seconds till showtime. That's right, lots of 1s.
Getting stuck in traffic, that's part of owning a car. Getting stuck because you don't have the right parts doesn't have to be. That's because eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. So keep moving.
The hat of wisdom. Got the cap of, could be the cap of wisdom or the hat of wisdom, not sure.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
But I do feel smarter when I'm wearing this hat.
The economy and inflation a major focus this week. President Biden is meeting with CEOs at the White House to get an update on key industries, and a major read is due out this morning. ABC's Daria Almager has details.
The gross domestic product measures changes in the values of all goods and services produced in the U.S. after adjusting for inflation. It's the broadest measure of economic activity, and experts say the best indicator of economic health. And that's a big deal, especially in times like now when inflation is surging and consumer spending is starting to slow. But business spending remains strong, and economists say that could minimize any expected contraction. Daria Aldinger, ABC News.
This comes a day after the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.75%. The Fed is trying to strike a delicate balance for the nation's economy, using a rate increase to pull back on inflation.
It's showtime.
Worries mount, a spending slowdown could bring on a recession. This is ABC News.
God, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey guys, welcome to the program. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. That's right, the Steve Kane Show celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. And of course, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show on the planet Earth. I promise you that. You're never going to hear me disagree with President Trump. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's got enough people disagreeing with him and going after him. He doesn't need me to be critical. Not that he's said or done anything I would criticize, because I can't think of anything President Trump has said or done I would disagree with. But you will never hear me criticize our great President Donald Trump. I put my Make America Great Again hat on just a few minutes ago, and I already feel smarter since I put my MAGA hat on. This is kind of like the cap of wisdom that I'm wearing, my Make America Great Again hat. Well, listen, we've got a lot going on. There is a lot to talk about. We have a guest coming in studio today who is running for Congress, and he will be a part of the red tsunami in November if all goes as planned, as well as the blue flush. So we'll have that guest in here later on in the program in the 8 o'clock hour, talking with them about everything that's going on in our country right now. And man, there's a lot of things, good and bad, going on, and we're going to talk about all of them. You know, here, those of us that live in Florida, we are so lucky to have Ron DeSantis as our governor. You know, there's a lot of new people here in Florida. You haven't been here that long. You don't know another Florida governor before DeSantis. And we've had some good governors. Rick Scott, our senator, was a great governor. He was an amazing governor. Even Jeb Bush, I know that sounds crazy. Notice I skipped over Charlie Crist. Even Jeb Bush, before he went crazy, was a great governor. He was a very good governor. But no one can hold a candle to the great Ron DeSantis. And, you know, one of the things that makes Ron DeSantis so effective, so good, so popular is that he is right out there on top of everything, and he doesn't shy away from the controversies. And, you know, that's how Republicans win. Republicans win. Republicans gain popularity. Republicans are successful when they're not afraid to stand up against the woke mob, the liberals, and stand up for what Republicans are all about. And Ron DeSantis does that all the time. And he takes strong Republican stands even when no one else is doing it, like when he stood up against shutdowns and lockdowns during the height of the pandemic. He was right there. Florida was open the entire time. Now there's this new bizarre trend going on with children being taken to these drag shows, drag bars, and all kinds of strange things, which is incredibly inappropriate. It's like taking little kids to strip clubs. And there's been a couple of incidents, one in Dallas, and now we have a new one right here in Miami, right here in South Florida, in Ron DeSantis' free Florida, where little kids were taken to a drag bar / restaurant and were putting money inside the underwear of drag queens. And Ron DeSantis has gotten involved in this, which is something, it's not often you see Republicans stand up. You know, this is the inspiration of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has taught a lot of these Republicans, Ron DeSantis, Carrie Lake, Kristi Noem, and a whole bunch of others, stand up for what's right, and you'll win, you'll do fine. And, you know, a crazy thing about taking these kids, little kiddies, to the drag shows is that the people that are doing it, the drag queens, the business owners, and the parents of these children, don't see anything wrong with it. They don't even have enough sense in their mind to say, whoa, this is not the right thing to do. And on top of that, they're recording it. And then they post it online. That's how we find out about these things. They're bragging about it. And I know groomer is thrown around, but in the olden days, groomers, they knew they were doing something wrong, so they did it in private. We're in a new phase now where the groomers are recording everything and then releasing it online for the whole world to see. So there was an incident in Miami at this drag bar restaurant show location down by that Wynwood area, that art district in downtown Miami. And they brought the little kiddies to the drag show. The little kids were putting money in the underwear of the drag queens. Ron DeSantis found out about it, and he talked about it in a press conference yesterday. Let me play this. This is our great governor, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Ron DeSantis' free Florida, talking about the crackdown on these bizarre drag queens with the kids.
First of all, there was a video out of Dallas where they had all these young kids putting money in the underwear of these drag queens at a bar, and that's totally unacceptable. And I said that at the time. Then what happened was a week or two later, there was video from a place that had similar stuff, and then that was identified as being in Florida. So we said, wait a minute, having kids involved in this is wrong. That is not consistent with our law and policy in the state of Florida, and it is a disturbing trend in our society to try to sexualize these young people. That is not the way you look out for our children. You protect children. You do not expose them to things that are inappropriate. So they had this video, and it's identified in Miami. So it's Department of Business and Professional Regulation. They started an investigation, they actually had agents going to this place and conducting effectively just gathering information, getting intelligence, seeing what's going on. And what they found was not only were there minors there for some of these, and these are sexually explicit drag shows, they actually had the bar had a children's menu on their food service. And you think to yourself, give me a break, what's going on? So they looked under Florida law and were able to initiate this procedure that would basically, take away the liquor license for that, and that basically ends the show.
Okay, yeah. So, isn't that something? So, Ron DeSantis is going after the liquor license of the drag bar that had the kids putting the money in the drag queen / stripper underwear. But there's much more to it than that really needs to be looked into. Who are the parents of these kids that are taking their children to a sex show? If you took your underage children to a strip club, like a regular strip club, where, you know what I'm talking about, what would happen to you? You'd have the authorities coming investigating you because you can't take kids to a sex show, which is what they're doing here. These are sex shows. Once they, there are such a thing as female impersonators, and they do musical theater and stuff like that. That's one thing. But this one here that Ron DeSantis is talking about in Miami, and the one in Dallas, you've got the kid. It's not a drag show where a female impersonator gets up and sings a Liza Minnelli or Cher song or something. It's borderline stripper, and they're putting the money in the underwear of them. That's where you move into the realm of a sex show from just like female impersonators singing. These parents need to be looked at. There are weird things going on here. And as a parent myself, I cannot for the life of me imagine someone taking a child to something like this. But Ron DeSantis, he's right out there on the front line, not afraid to take on well, it shouldn't even be controversial, but not afraid to take on the big issues that Republicans are always afraid to get involved in. That's why he's so good. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I've got to take our first break of the hour. When we come back, I will go to the phones. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Those of you that are new to the program, The Steve Kane Show, we are on 6 radio stations from North Miami through Broward, Boca, the Palm Beaches, and the Treasure Coast. And our program is on the air from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. In Palm Beach and the Treasure Coast, you can listen to us on 95.9 FM and 106.9 FM, as well as 103.1 HD3. We'll be back with your calls after this. And 106.9 FM, as well as 103.1 HD3. We'll be back with your calls after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs, on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Have you ever wanted to feel like royalty?
Oh, man.
Join our loyal listener club.
I will, Christine. He's in a lot of pain. They got him on IV antibiotics.
Hey man, that's groovy. Plus,
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. Liking the video tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and all my content to people that have not yet found me, and that helps a lot. Diverticulitis. Yeah, about every couple of years, Steve has a flare-up with the diverticulitis.
Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca.
It acts up mainly because you have to have you're on a strict diet, which he doesn't adhere to.
University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood.
Oh yeah, it's very painful. Well, the reason they hospitalize you is for the IV. What's up? Yeah. You're not hearing it over there? Oh, is it? Steve Kane Show. No, hold on. It doesn't make a noise over here. It just blinks. Yeah. Is it still ringing? It shouldn't be.
They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
I was 53, divorced, and ready to get back out there. I was unsure about dating sites, but I signed up for Silver Singles and quickly met Lily.
Mark and Lily rediscovered the romance.
I know, Gail. It's awesome.
The secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want.
Lily's a lover of the great outdoors like me, and we instantly connected over.
I know, like I was. If Chuck's not in here yet, but I know Chuck can remember when I had like 160 subs.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs, on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve is out with the diverticulitis, just so you guys know, which is incredibly painful, let me tell you. I expect Steve to probably be back next week. I don't think he'll be here tomorrow either. He's in a lot of pain, but he is under the care of a doctor. All right, so Ron DeSantis taking a stand against the kiddie drag shows, and this one in particular in Miami. Your calls are welcome. 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tom from South Carolina.
Tom in South Carolina. What's on your mind?
Hey, buddy. So I've got a couple things. First off, who the heck do these freaking drag queens think that they are, trying to freaking step in and groom our kids? And where are these parents' minds that are freaking thinking that, oh, this is okay for them?
You know, if you took, let me ask you, if you took your underage kids to a strip club, you'd be in trouble. You'd be in trouble with the law, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what they, listen, there's two things. Like I was saying, there's female impersonator shows where a drag queen will get up and sing, as Madonna. That's one thing. But what they've done with these shows is a step further, where the little kids are being given dollar bills by their parents to put in the underwear of the drag queens.
And here's the other thing, though.
That's when it moves into the realms of sex, in my view. That's a sexual thing, isn't it?
Right. And most of these freaking unprofessional...
First time today! I had to use the dump. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. I've got to wait for the delay to build back up before we take more calls. And, oh, man. First time today. This program uses the dump button more than any other show in radio, and certainly more than any other conservative radio talk show. I know. Well, hey, listen. These are emotional issues we're talking about. Cracks me up. It cracks me up. Yeah, there's a trick to the delay. A lot of people don't know how delays work. We have a 10-second delay. So when you're listening on the radio, what you were hearing is 10 seconds ago. That's right. It's like time travel. I'm in the future. I'm 10 seconds in the future. So when someone says something that you can't say on the radio, like that last gentleman just did, you hit the dump button, and when you hit the dump button, you go live, and it cuts out the 10 seconds previous. And I've shared this with people. A lot of people, when they're on the air, they panic when someone uses profanity and they do it backwards. The way you do it is you got 10 seconds, which is an eternity on the radio. If I didn't talk for 10 seconds, it would sound like 10 minutes, right? If dead air, you've got 10 seconds. That's a long time. You hang up on the caller, and then you hit the dump button. It's easy. It's easy. But I've listened to national shows, they panic, and they hit the dump button, and then the caller, well, the problem when they do it backwards like that, you're now live. The caller's still on the air that dropped whatever word they can't use, and they say it again. It goes right out on the air. It's hilarious. But, all right, 1-888-GO. Kane 1 is the number. 888-465-2631. The delay is re-engaged. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mike from Louisiana.
Yes. Oh, man.
Man, look, I tell you what. You have probably the best governor in the history of governors ever.
Oh, there's no question about that. Not probably, we do. Ron DeSantis is the best.
Right, I'm not just talking about American governors. I'm talking about worldwide. You know, this is a guy that obviously, I agree with you. He's probably going to be our second MAGA president in 2028, probably.
Oh, yeah. If Trump were in the White House right now, he'd be our nominee in 2024. I mean, you know, the thing about Ron DeSantis with this drag queen thing in Miami, you know, you look at, people don't realize, people say, oh, that he's doing the right thing, which he is. Prior to President Trump coming down the escalator, Republicans were cowards. They would, you know, he's got two things going on, right? I don't like to call it this, but I have to. No one will know what I'm talking about if I don't. The Don't Say Gay bill that doesn't have gay in it. You put that together with what he did what he's doing in Miami, taking the liquor license away from this drag bar down there, you know, which is a big deal. You know, this you put those two issues together. Any other Republican, like during the Newt Gingrich era, their polling people would come. He's running for election right now, right? He's running for re-election. They'd say, oh, that's too much anti-gay stuff. They'll be all, you can't do it. You can't do it. He does the right thing, and he wins every time because he stands up for what is right, regardless of the controversy. And you can't go wrong when you're doing the right thing.
You can't. You really can't. And I'm not saying that without Trump he wouldn't have been governor anyway, because I think he would have. But you wouldn't have gotten, without Trump coming on the escalator, you wouldn't have gotten this version of Ron DeSantis.
No, well, we wouldn't have had Ron DeSantis because President Trump endorsed him. Ron DeSantis was in the House when he ran for governor. And I saw him in some hearings, and he was always like this. He wasn't very well known, even here in Florida. He wasn't very well. I knew who he was. I saw him on television a couple times, and I saw him in some hearings. He was always like this.
He's doing the right thing. He did the right thing with the whole Disney situation.
Well, right now, you know, Disney is reacting. The CEO, Bob Chapek of Disney, is firing some of those woke executives. They're doing it on the down low. That caused all these problems. I mean, to take on Disney is big money in Florida, and he took on one of the biggest companies in Florida. Not the biggest, but a very big and powerful one. And that's also not, any other Republican would have said, I don't think we should go that far. You know what, President Trump changed the expectation that people have from our elected officials. We want results. We don't want rhetoric. We don't want them to tell us what should be and what they're going to do. We want them just, when something happens, to go out and do it and take care of business.
And I guarantee you this, just an aside, that whole the whole thing with Whoopi Goldberg and what she said and stuff like that, and how they had to retract what she said, I guarantee you, ABC is owned by who?
Yeah, it's Disney. Yeah.
And it didn't come from the ABC executives. It came from Disney.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get into that after the break. A lot of people may not know what you're referencing. It's a little vague. But hey, listen, Mike, take care. Thanks for the call. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. And, of course, you are all welcome to call in. You do not have to agree with us to call in. If you disagree with anything you hear on this program, you're also welcome to call. I don't understand how anyone could disagree with any of this common sense discussion we're having. But if you do disagree, your calls are also welcome. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Back after this. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Be right back, guys. Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning at 10 a.m. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to an awesome start. We're going to see daytime highs today in the low 90s, hazy, hot, and humid due to Sahara dust over the peninsula. I'm WTVF 25 First Morning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
This morning on the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are crash-free, moving up the speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. The surface feeds are also looking good, just some light volume right now on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that stuff with the view after the break here. Oh, man. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. Oh, man.
This report is sponsored by Racetrack. What if you could get your morning going with double the breakfast sandwich deliciousness? Celebrate Hot Deals Summer at Racetrack when you get 2 breakfast sandwiches for only $4. Racetrack, whatever gets you going. See store for details. That's your outcome, Chris Paul.
Gas is not available on gas in New Jersey, Wisconsin. This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss. Are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas.
You have an old coupon book from Disneyland? That might be worth some money. We're ready for the weekend. It's not even Friday yet. It's still Thursday. Promo code DRAG.
Dogs and cats want 4 things: food, water, our love, and a My Pillow pet bed. And let's face it, when they get older, they really need that comfort. Available in 3 sizes and in many different colors. And your furry family member will sleep as well as you do, because the My Pillow pet bed has that same padded fill inside as the pillows. Order your My Pillow pet bed for 50% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, or call 1-800-716-4879.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward into art class.
A 4-foot replica of the Statue of Liberty using elbow macaroni.
With glue and art supplies from Staples.
By tomorrow.
Right now, 24
Well, thank you, Christine.
Poly pocket folders are just 50 cents each, and 1-inch binders are only $1.
Yeah, Birdcage. That was in South Beach, Miami. The remake of La Caja Falls.
We're going forward to school. Ends 8/27 in store only.
Now, I might, depending on the weather, go down to Miami this weekend and make a vlog at that drag bar. I wouldn't be able to go in because they're not going to let me film inside, but outside. But if I do, I won't be able to wear my MAGA hat. That area where it's at, the Wynwood area, it's not just the most liberal place you can imagine. It's very high crime and sketch. If I went down there with my MAGA hat, it'd be dangerous. It would really, truly be dangerous. So I'll have to go down there and vlog incognito. No, I'd go by myself. I don't want to take people vlogging with me. But I won't be able to wear my MAGA gear, I don't think. I think it'd be too dangerous. Go in drag. High heels. Going live won't stop them from getting. It's a very liberal area, and it's also a sketchy area. Very bad area. It's like, if I do it, I don't know if I'll do it this weekend or next. Depends on how busy I am this weekend with work and the weather. But if I do it, I'll go down the South Beach too. I cannot wear my MAGA hat on South Beach, Miami. Can't do it. It would be very dangerous. It'd be like wearing my MAGA gear on the south side of Chicago. I know Jesse Smollett says south side of Chicago is MAGA country, but
Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
Yes. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. We are back here. Okay, so the Coven of the View this is wonderful. Charlie Kirk, we were talking earlier this week, Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA in Tampa was amazing. And there was something I saw there online over the weekend that I did not talk about. Because there's the fake Nazis that were there. Fake Nazis show up at conservative events claiming to be Trump people and DeSantis people all the time. It's just the way it happened. Remember Charlottesville? Okay, fake Nazis, fake white nationalists, fake white supremacists. Now, some real ones are there. I mean, if the Nazis and white supremacists throw an event with the fake Nazis and fake white nationalists, some real ones will show up. But there really are not a lot of Nazis and Klansmen and white supremacists anymore. It's not like the old days. Okay, it's just not that way anymore. 99.9999% of the time, when you see a Nazi, a white nationalist, or a white supremacist at any political event, it's a Democrat faking it. And what I've often told people to do, okay, is look for things. And I started doing this really after Charlottesville. Look at their Nazi flags and Confederate flags. They're always brand new. Brand new. A lot of times, you'll see creases throughout them. Little square creases, sometimes rectangular creases. That's because they were just taken out of the package that they came in. Real Nazis already have the flags on the wall of their bedroom or their living room, and it's pinned up there. They take the Nazi flag or they take the Confederate flag off the wall at home. It's old, it's been around a while, and they take that to the event. When the flags are brand new, right out the gate, they're fake Nazis. And the fake Nazis have been very active in Florida lately. There were some protests at Disney World, in front of Disney World, a few weeks back. The fake Nazis were there, and of course they're for Ron DeSantis. And I saw the fake Nazis out on the sidewalk in front of the convention center where Turning Point USA was online. on Twitter. I saw this circulated. And, there's a lot of proof that I'll give you some proof right now that the Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists are not a major movement. The liberals are continually trying to promote them as a very, that they're rising, and of course they're all Republican, and they're inspired by Trump and all this stuff. If there were real Nazis and white supremacists that were an active political movement, why would they be at Turning Point USA? Why would they be there? You know where they would be? They would be protesting any place that Kamala Harris was at, because she's biracial. She's black and Indian. And you know what? The real Nazis and real white supremacists don't like black people. They don't like anyone who's not white, especially in positions of power like Vice President of the United States. Why aren't they protesting her? Because they're fake. Where were these white nationalist Nazis during the 8 years of Obama? Let me tell you, there's nothing that ticks those kind of people off more, Nazis and white supremacists, than having a black president of the United States for 8 years. Why would real Nazis go to Turning Point USA in Tampa and be out on the sidewalk, pretending to be DeSantis supporters, pretending to support Charlie Kirk? Who would do that? Why would they be there? What's the point? They're Democrats, okay? They're Democrats. You notice they wear masks. They love the masks, so you can't go online and find out who they really are. It makes no sense. Nazis and white supremacists don't just hate black people. They hate the real ones. They hate Jews a lot, especially the Nazis, right? Why would Nazis be rallying for Donald Trump when Ivanka is a Jew? They wouldn't. They would be beyond ticked off at President Trump for allowing his daughter to convert and marry a Jew. In fact, the real Nazis would be protesting Donald Trump because of that. And other things too, but that, I mean, they're fake. Anytime you see Nazis pretending to support any Republicans, they're Democrats pretending. And that's a fact. I'm here to tell you that is a fact. They don't really exist as a real movement. But the left want to believe that we're Nazis. So the fake Nazis were outside of Turning Point USA, and the Coven of the View, they went on the air and said that Charlie Kirk invited the Nazis, not invited them. Really? Are you kidding me? You know, he started that organization with Candace Owens. She's black. And let me tell you, I was at the President Trump Freedom Tour when it came to Fort Lauderdale at the Panthers Arena a few months back. I made a vlog about it on my YouTube channel. There were a lot of big MAGA people there. Candace Owens, Don Jr., and a bunch of others. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and many others. And President Trump was the headliner, of course. But the other ones, Don Jr. and Down, they had photo ops, paid photo ops that you could pay, you take a picture with them. Out of all of them, and this was this was the most MAGA crowd you've ever seen. Sarah Huckabee, Don Jr., Kim Guilfoyle, and Candace Owens, you could pay to take a picture with any or all of them, one at a time. You know, you could pick just one, you could do it all. Which of those had the longest line of MAGA people to take pictures with? Don Jr., Kim Guilfoyle, Sarah Huckabee, and Candace Owens. Well, I think you can probably figure it out by the way I presented it. Candace Owens had more people lined up, MAGA people who paid big money, by the way, it was not cheap, to take a photograph with Candace Owens than the other ones combined. If this is a white supremacist movement, why are they lining up more than even Don Jr. to take a picture with Candace Owens. Makes no sense, does it? Because it's not true. It's fake. Don't let them tell you that there's a real Nazis. You could probably count the real Nazis in America on two hands. So The View, they said that Charlie Kirk invited the Nazis to Turning Point USA. Right? Stupid. But they said it. And Charlie Kirk is talking about possibly suing The View. In fact, yesterday on Twitter, Sue The View was a trending hashtag on Twitter yesterday. So on The View yesterday, they had to do a legal disclaimer live on the air. You'll hear Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and some others, I don't know their names, that are part of the coven. Listen to this.
Okay, so you have to read this thing.
Oh, I've got a legal note. The conservative group...
Sunny normally does this, but...
I know.
Yes.
This is our knockoff lawyer.
Okay.
The conservative group, Turning Point USA, has condemned the group of neo-Nazis and said they have nothing to do with the organization.
Yeah, but where was DeSantis is what I want to know.
But you let them in. You let them in and you knew what they were. So you are complicit. We'll be right back.
Okay, so ABC Legal made the ladies of The View do a disclaimer on the air, almost like a retraction about Charlie Kirk inviting the Nazis. And then what happened? Whoopi Goldberg repeated the slander. So then they go to break, and they have to do a clarification because of Whoopi's slander during the apology. Listen.
Make a quick clarification about the neo-Nazis at the Turning Point event. They were outside protesters. My point was more metaphorical, that you embraced them at your thing.
Who embraced the Nazis? Who embraced the Nazis, Whoopi?
So they were not in the building.
No, but you know what? Okay. You know what? If the so-called Antifa, who are anti-fascist, that's what Antifa stands for, would go there and protest, then Antifa would get a bad reputation. That's why when I hear that Antifa is
right, but that's not. But let me just make sure that everybody, because misunderstanding what people say is very big.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we want to make sure I know they were not in the building, but they were in the mix of people at the thing.
You know how bad...
Oh my goodness. They were on the sidewalk outside. They were not invited in. These are disgusting people. This coven of The View. Liberals want to believe we're Nazis. So that's why they fall for this nonsense. Listen, we're going to take our break. Last break of this hour. Callers on hold, stand by. 888-GO-KANE-1. That's a terrible thing to say about someone that's not true. We'll be back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Don't spend thousands of dollars on a fancy hotel suite when you can feel 5-star luxury in your very own home. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my Pillow bathrobe. It's the most comfortable robe I've ever worn. Made with luxurious cotton, it comes in men's and women's in a huge variety of colors. And right now, you can order yours for 30% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 45.
Ad paid for by the Centennial Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file a lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-860-3973. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-860-3973. That's 800-860-3973. Again, 800-860-3973.
It's hurricane season, and if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you have a leak in your roof. When we had a leak in our roof at the Kane household, we called Tom Laporta. He's the best in the business. Remember, small leaks turn into medium leaks, and medium leaks turn into big problems. Call a licensed contractor, Tom Laporta, for a free roof inspection. 954-604-4602. And tell him Steve Kane.
All right, coming back.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. Okay, now, you know, people that work in the Trump White House have written books, and most of them have just been garbage, filled with lies, trying to sell books. But I'll tell you, there's a new one coming out by Jared Kushner, who is President Trump's Bobby Kennedy, his confidant. He's got a new book coming out, and Jared Kushner, he's as rich as it gets, man. I mean, you know, he's so rich and successful, even Trump is impressed by it, right? So he doesn't need to sell books. And Jared Kushner's new book has something in it that I believe 100%, because it's Jared Kushner. It's being reported today, and it's about John Kelly, who was the chief of staff for a while. Jared Kushner claims that John Kelly shoved Ivanka. Can you believe this? This is unbelievable. This is really, wow. Wow. Now we know why he's gone. The alleged incident, they write in the Washington Examiner, which Kelly denies. Now, who are you going to believe? Who do you believe? John Kelly or Jared Kushner? I believe Jared Kushner. The alleged incident, which Kelly denies, appears in Kushner's book Breaking History, a White House memoir, which hits shelves August 23rd. This is one I'll definitely be reading. Both Ivanka Trump and Kushner, the daughter and son-in-law to President Trump, were top advisors in the White House in the previous administration. Yes, yes, yes. Listen to this. This is from the book by Jared Kushner. One day, he had just marched out of a contentious meeting in the Oval Office, Jared Kushner writes. Ivanka was walking down the main hallway in the West Wing when she passed Kelly. Unaware of his heated state of mind, Ivanka said, "Hello, Chief." Kelly shoved her out of the way and stormed by. She wasn't hurt and didn't make a big deal about it, but in his rage, Kelly had shown his true character. That's from Jared Kushner's book. Roughly an hour later, Kushner added, Kelly visited Ivanka Trump's second-floor West Wing office to offer what he describes as a meek apology, which she accepted. Kelly, a retired Marine Corps general who served as Trump's chief of staff from July 2017 to January 2019, forcefully rejected the description in the book when pressed by the Washington Post. He said, "I don't recall anything like you describe." Oh, I don't recall? You know, when this is really, that's like something Bill Clinton would say. When someone says, I don't recall, that means it's true. And they say they don't recall, and then in case they don't want to admit it, who wants to own up to that? He shoved Ivanka Trump in the White House. What a lowlife. He says, I don't recall. He didn't say it didn't happen. I don't recall it happening. So he's lying, General Kelly. And if there's something that comes out that proves it, like multiple witnesses or video or photographs or something, he'll say, oh, now I remember. Now I recall that. Wow. He says, I don't recall anything like you describe, he says. I don't recall. It is inconceivable that I would ever shove a woman. Inconceivable. Never happened, Kelly added. Would never intentionally do something like that. So now it sounds like, in my view, Kelly is admitting it, but throwing out there that it's an accident. Would never intentionally do something like that, Kelly says. This is to the Washington Post. Also, don't remember ever apologizing for something I didn't do. I'd remember that. However, Jared Kushner's book notes that Julie Radford, Ivanka's chief of staff, heard Kelly apologize. It was the first and only time that Ivanka's staff saw Kelly visit her office. Ivanka Trump said through a spokesperson that the description of events as described in Jared's book, her husband, was accurate, according to the Washington Post. Oh, man. That's disappointing. You know, a lot of times when you're dealing with military people, you know, as conservatives, you automatically respect them, especially a general. You want to think the best of them, but they're not all good. And Kelly, while he was working for President Trump, it was not always that nice. Okay, and we do know that to people in the staff, very airy. Now, this is I hate don't even like using the word, but this is recession day, isn't it? Are we going to get the official numbers today? And Ducey from Fox News Channel, during the White House press briefing with Jean-Pierre yesterday, I tell you, these people, they think we're stupid. They really do think we're stupid. This is Peter Ducey with Jean-Pierre in the White House press briefing talking about the recession yesterday.
If things are going so great, though, then why is it that White House officials are trying to redefine recession?
No, we're not redefining recession.
If we all understand a recession to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth in a row, and then you have White House officials come up here and say, no, that's not what a recession is. It's something else. How is that not redefining recession?
Because that's not the definition.
That is the definition. 2 quarters of negative economic growth is the textbook Economics 101 definition of a recession. But now they're rewriting that. And you know what? Since all these college professors that write these textbooks are liberal, maybe they'll rewrite and change the definition for them officially. You know, this changing the facts that you're seeing, I've seen the Democrats do this, and even if you go online right now, you see people like Krugman from the New York Times, who's an economist, supposedly, Krugman, all lying to you, telling you that is not the definition of a recession. These liberals are so into covering for this guy. I remember when Obama was president, something happened, or it was before he was president, during the campaign for president, when Obama was running the first time. He said something, and I saw them change it. He talked about his uncle on his mother's side was a World War II veteran and had visited Buchenwald. He was part of the U.S. forces that liberated Buchenwald concentration camp in Germany at the end of the Second World War. And he told a story about the dead that he saw there, and when he came back home from the war, he spent 6 months in the attic. Remember this story? And I thought that story was that's interesting to me, because my grandfather was there, okay? And So I was like, oh, let me look that up, because my grandfather didn't really talk about that stuff at all. He didn't like talking about it. And so I went to Wikipedia. This was during the 08 campaign, and read about Buchenwald concentration camp, about the liberation of it by the U.S. Army. And when they had gotten there, there was no one left. There was no one there. It had been cleared out. Obama's story was completely fabricated. And I thought, oh, I'm going to talk about this on the radio tomorrow. I didn't print it up. And I got up in the morning doing my show prep. They changed the Wikipedia entry to fit Obama's story. And I was like, whoa, that was really scary for me. That was like the first time I saw something like that happen that was so obvious. They wanted to protect Obama. He said something that was not true. You know, and now they're doing it for Biden. And, you know, the biggest problem that we have with this recession I was talking about yesterday is this. For the there have been recessions in this country in the past. Okay? And presidents do what they can do to try to get us out of a recession. Now, even Democrat presidents want to get you out of a recession. Now, and they'll do this, they'll do that. They may do the wrong thing. They may think raising taxes is the way to do it. You know how Democrats are. But at least they're trying. They may be wrong, but they're trying. This president and this White House, they're not. This is going to be the worst recession we've ever experienced, possibly, because they won't even acknowledge the problem. So how can they fix something that they won't even acknowledge is happening? You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carol, a couple of comments. One, I think the press was the ones dressed up as Nazis. It's just a guess. But what do you think of my theory?
I couldn't understand it. You were breaking up. What was your theory?
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, what was your theory?
That I said I think that when I saw the Nazis, or supposedly Nazis...
Oh, at Turning Point USA?
They were press.
No, they're not press. They're not press. They're Democrat activists, like that fake. You're talking about the fake Nazis on the sidewalk at Turning Point. No, they're not the press. They're Democrat activists, just like that fake Patriot Front that the feds are putting out there. You know, they're trying to create this narrative that there's a rise in Nazism and white supremacists because of the MAGA movement.
It's about dividing society. That's how I feel. It's about A, dividing B, and this is going on forever. It's because my grandchildren and my children have been indoctrinated into the Marxist, Leninist.
Well, that's what, if you look at Democrats in this country, that's all they do, are divide people. That's why earlier this week when I was talking about how they're trying to get a national federal law passed through Congress on gay marriage, they're trying to put gays against conservative Christians again and try to get that conflict going. Everything the Democrats do is to divide people, and because when we're united like we are in the MAGA movement, we unite against them and their liberal ideas. Listen, Carol, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. We will be back with your calls and a lot more after this. Don't go anywhere.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Steve Kane Show.
Check.
center free this morning for the fall beach review. 95 and the Turnpike are up to speed for both of the hotels in Jupiter and remain free. The service streets are also crash free. Like volume is now building on Blaze Road eastbound towards 95. Also on Blaze Road eastbound past the Turnpike. We have a multi-vehicle crash in Broward County on I-95 heading northbound on Loretto, Oakland Park Boulevard. The off-ramp center lane is blocked. For that earlier crash, we had a Tamarack on the Sawgrass Expressway southbound before commercials now up to the right shoulder. This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep the motion with nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Parts care centers. The Napa network has everything you need to get up and go. That's traffic from Chris Moore.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News now, Lionel Boyes. The economy and inflation a major focus this week. President Biden is meeting with CEOs at the White House to get an update on key industries, and a major read is due out this morning. ABC's Daria Albanger has details.
Domestic product measures changes in the values of all goods and services produced in the U.S. after adjusting for inflation. It's the broadest measure of economic activity, and experts say the best indicator of economic health. And that's a big deal, especially in times like now when inflation is surging and consumer spending is starting to slow. But business spending remains strong, and economists say that could minimize any expected contraction. Daria Albanger, ABC News.
This comes the day after the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.75%. The Fed is trying to strike a delicate balance for the nation's economy, using a rate increase to pull back on inflation as worries mount a spending slowdown could bring on a recession. This is ABC News.
Ooma. What is that? Meditation? I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution. Ooma? Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Opinions are like everyone's got one. Get yours in the Steve Kane Show.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, this thing that happened with the kids at the Sesame Street parade at this theme park in Philadelphia. Listen to this. This is in the Daily Mail this morning. Parents have filed a $25 million racial discrimination lawsuit against Sesame Street theme park, claiming 4 characters, including Rosita, ignored their daughter during a parade because she's black. Okay. You know, this is, I tell you, these racial discrimination lawsuits, the odds of becoming a millionaire are much greater than playing the lottery. They really are. These little girls, I feel bad for them, the little girls, they went up to this character during a parade that had floats in it. The character had to take a photo. Anytime you are at a theme park and there's a parade, it's not a photo opportunity. It's a parade. It's moving. If they take pictures with one kid, they got to take pictures with all of them. And then you got not a parade, but a traffic jam. In fact, right behind this character that wouldn't take the picture with them was a very large moving float with Elmo on it. And, I had an incident like this happen when my daughter was a little girl. And for those that don't know, my daughter is black. She's biracial. We were at the Contemporary Hotel at Walt Disney World here in Florida at Orlando, and they had this Goofy breakfast where Goofy and many of the characters were there, and you paid extra to go to this, and we saw Goofy come out. And I got up from our table, walked across the restaurant with my daughter to meet Goofy, and he was talking to some people at a table, and the characters in these theme parks, they're not allowed to talk. Okay, they don't speak. They motion to you using hand signals. And Goofy put his finger up and the no, back and forth like no, and then he moved around and said explained what he was doing, which means he was going from table to table. That's what happened here. This character can't talk to the little kids because the little kids think these are the real thing. They don't think it's a guy in a suit, right? So they can't talk. So he put his finger up and said they can't do that here. Where's the racial discrimination? And we're 2 weeks into this story, and I've not seen them identify who was inside the suit. If the person inside the suit at the Sesame Street parade was white, we would know all about it. Whoever was in that suit, my guess is they're a character of color inside, because they're playing a fictitious character, all right? They're black or Hispanic, they're not white, or we'd know all about it. And I wish that the Sesame Street people would let that be known. It's Philadelphia. There aren't very many white people there. Just by the odds of that, it's probably someone who's a minority. Okay, it's Philadelphia. And that would end it all. That would end it all. But they're afraid, and you know what? This family, they're going to get paid because Sesame Street's going to pay them. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. What a terrible lesson to teach these children, you know? And I saw the mother on an interview. I played it on the radio earlier in the week. I'm not going to play it now, but the mother was talking about the public embarrassment because it's all over the internet. The mother made the video and put it up online herself. So if there's any humiliation with the girls, it's the mother's own fault. Maybe she should pay the $25 million. You know, there's real racism that has occurred in this country, and not every slight is racial discrimination. We all encounter rude people, people that don't show proper courtesy. You know, my daughter's black. I didn't say, "Oh, Goofy's racist. Let's call up an attorney and sue Disney." I felt stupid. I realized what was going on. I was breaking the rules. So we waited. It didn't even occur to me to think racial discrimination. But liberal people today take every encounter as racial discrimination. I was watching a story on the local news in Palm Beach. It was a story that was in another state, but they were carrying on the local news in Palm Beach yesterday afternoon about the interstate highway system. There's a group of people trying to get a lot of money, billions of dollars. They say that the interstate highway system discriminated against blacks. Come on, give me a break. Everything now is a racial slight and a racial discrimination lawsuit. It's just not the way. And these little girls by these lunatic parents in Philadelphia at Sesame Street are being taught a very terrible lesson. We're beyond that in this society. I have seen real racism, and I know a lot of you have too. When I was younger, when I tell you one thing that really shocked me. And this is when I was, you know, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, but I've lived in Florida since I was in elementary school. But when in the mid 80s, when I was in high school, I worked at Publix. And I worked at the Publix on Davie Boulevard. And this was like 86-ish, 86, 87. And when black people, black families would come into the store shopping, the managers would follow them around. It was very strange to me. And I remember there was this one family, regular family, they're black, they're shopping, they're being followed around by all the managers, and the manager of the meat department was like, I saw him peeking around a corner with one eye. And I'd asked him about this, and he said, well, I'm making sure they're not shoplifting. They had no history of shoplifting, but this was some good old boy who grew up in the South. And, you know, he thought that when black people are thieves or something, I mean, that's some hardcore racism right there. A long time ago, and that era is over. And I know some of you have seen things that have been worse. I've seen things, you know, when I first came to Florida in the early 80s, you know, but we're beyond that era. And when you're raising kids in a post-racial country that are black, and you are teaching them, like these parents in Philadelphia are, that every slight is racial discrimination, you're setting them up to be victims. You know, they made two arrests of the girls in New York that attacked the white Trump supporter. What are they, 15, 16, 17? They're still looking for the third. I guess the two they arrested didn't rat their friend out. They attacked this 57-year-old white woman on a bus because she's a Trump supporter. And you know what? No one on the bus stood up to defend her, and they beat her. You know, and the reason that those young girls did that is they've been raised to be racist. They, you know, when they attacked that woman on the bus in New York, they didn't think they did anything wrong. They think that white Trump supporters are what's Whoopi Goldberg telling us on The View? White supremacist, Klansmen, Nazis. And if they don't like you, they're a hate group. They're out to do terrible things to you. So those girls are so brainwashed, they don't even think they did anything wrong. And you know what? Even though they've been arrested and charged with attacking that woman, they still don't think they did anything wrong. Because she's a white Trump supporter, that means she's a Klansman, white supremacist, neo-Nazi. And that's what these parents at the Sesame Street Park in Philadelphia, that's what they're teaching their kids to think like. They don't want to live in a post-racial society, the liberals. They really don't. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, this media and social media is causing all kinds of problems in this country. You know, I bet you that lady probably put something on to complain about what happened, and then it went viral, and everybody started telling, oh, sue. I should go get an attorney, or maybe an attorney approached her, and the next thing you know, there's a $25 million lawsuit. It's getting ridiculous. I don't know. There's nothing we can do about it, I guess, but this is what's going on.
Yeah, and they're going to get paid. They are going to get paid. Maybe not $25 million. They might. I mean, the theme park's going to settle with them.
Yeah, as soon as you got attorneys, you're going to be slapping some sort of payment.
Well, if it's absurd, okay? Like if they would release, I don't know for sure yet, but my guess is the person in the costume is not white. Because if they were white, the attorneys would already have that out there. Okay? So if it's a non-white person and they were doing the right thing, the theme park would let that be known. I wouldn't want them to identify the person because then they'll be targeted. But if it's a non-white person, they should very much let that be known. But they won't, because they don't want 500 people outside the theme park protesting.
I mean, the media is brainwashing a lot of people. I talked to two of the liberals I know who say that Trump never did anything. Because they first mentioned that they would vote for Liz Cheney if she would.
Really? Who are you talking? Oh my God! I'm up against a break, Doug. Next time, start with that. I'd be more interested in hearing that than the other thing. That's Trump didn't do anything. I think they gave you an incomplete sentence. Trump didn't do anything wrong, I think might have been. They gave you an incomplete sentence there, Doug. All right, listen, we're going to take our first break of this hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Back right after this break.
Wake up and smell the truth.
The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-838-4715 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-838-4715. That's 800-838-4715. What do you have to lose? Call 800-838-4715. Again, 800-838-4715.
Men, do you suffer from ED? If so, you know it can be very frustrating, not just for you, but your partner too. Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bayou Station West LA can help. Call for a free consultation, 561-320-8893. Call now and get your erection back on demand. Ladies, you can make an appointment for your man too. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward into art class.
A 4-foot replica of the Statue of Liberty using elbow macaroni?
With glue and art supplies from Staples.
By tomorrow.
Right now, 24-count Crayola crayons and Polly Pocket folders are just 50 cents each, and 1-inch binders are only $1.99. Everything on your list at amazing prices. Staples, we're not going back. We're going forward to school. Ends 8/27 in store, only limit 30.
Don't spend thousands of dollars on a fancy hotel suite when you can feel 5-star luxury in your very own home. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my Pillow bathrobe. It's the most comfortable robe I've ever worn. Made with luxurious cotton, it comes in men's and women's in a huge variety of colors. And right now, you can order yours for 30% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879.
Ready to
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, in my line of work, with the hours that I have, what's most important in my life really is getting a good rested night's sleep to do my job properly. Because if I'm not sleeping well at night, I'll be on the air like, out of it, okay? And I got to tell you, big announcement from Mike Lindell and MyPillow, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which I've been sleeping on for over a year, is now 50% off when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. This is the lowest price ever on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off, but you've got to use our promo code at checkout, KANE, K-A-N-E. It will change your life. We got ours because my wife was having back pain. We got a pretty new mattress, too. After one night, my wife's back pain was gone and did not return. It's amazing. I sleep the whole night through. I wake up when my alarm goes off. I used to wake up early before the alarm. Not since I've had the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It will change your life. It comes in every mattress size available, from twin all the way up to California King and Split King and every size in between, including RV Queen. It's not just great for yourself on your bed, it's great for the kids too. And if you got kids heading off to college, man, those dorm room beds are like sleeping on concrete blocks. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper from Mike Lindell, 50% off with our promo code KANE at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. All right, so Charlie Kirk has responded to The View on this, and he really made a very good point. He was on with Jesse Waters last night. And, what had happened was these fake Nazis that have been making appearances at events claiming to be Republicans, they're not Nazis and they're not Republicans. They act like Nazis. Oh, yeah, but they're Democrat activists who are trying to soil their reputation. I mean, what would be the point of the Nazis going out front of Turning Point USA? But anyway, Whoopi Goldberg and the ladies on The View said that Charlie Kirk invited the Nazis. They were welcomed to Turning Point USA. He threatened to sue them. And he went on last night on Jesse Waters. Let me read you what he said. This is amazing. Charlie Kirk says this: The View went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. When you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country and then have to, and have this shadow over them for the rest of their lives, he says, we only got them to retract it after threatening a lawsuit, but we're still considering it. This is what happened to Nick Sandmann. I know some of his lawsuits got tossed out by some federal judge, but he got some big settlements from the media. You know, that thing with Nick Sandmann, the media did a big hit job on them, and they paid dearly for it. And so should The View. This idea that these people in liberal circles can go out and slander people, in this case, children, at Turning Point USA, cannot be allowed. Let me tell you, however much money Nick Sandmann got from CNN and those lawsuits, it wasn't enough. Okay? And if you remember what happened, Nick Sandmann was on a school trip. Remember, they had their Maga hats on, and there was a guy who claimed to be a Native American Indian, who's not, complete fraud, but he was kind of dressed like an Indian and had a drum, and got very confrontational with Nick Sandmann and these other high school students. And they stood there because they're kids, they're scared. And CNN and the rest, it was over the weekend. I can't remember if it was a Saturday or a Sunday, but I was home. I remember it was the weekend and I was watching it. Went on television saying terrible things about Nick Sandmann and those students, as if they had confronted this Indian, they were white supremacists, and everything else. And the damages to that are pretty severe. Nick Sandmann, if he lives to be 100 years old, in his obituary, it'll have that incident with that. That will follow him for the rest of his life. He will never be able to get beyond it because of what the liberal media did. And you know what? There were a lot of young people at that event, Turning Point USA, that are all over social media. There are a lot of young people who were invited guests up on stage, but there are a lot of people who travel there that are young, high school and college age, that just went there to be a part of the event. And they're on television, many of them. They're all over social media. And they're being identified by The View as being in league with Nazis. That's a terrible thing. And you know, when someone does something like that, it trivializes what people have suffered in the past from real Nazis and real white supremacists. We had an incident happen here on the show a number of years ago, many years ago, and it was crazy. Steve was on vacation, and I worked on the show then, but I wasn't on the air as much as I am now. And we had a fill-in host, and he was awful. Awful. He filled in for Steve for a week. He was awful. He was one of the worst radio talk show hosts that I've ever heard on the air. And the audience hated him because he sucked. And callers would call in and they would tell him, "Get off the air. You suck. You got nothing to say. Why are you on the air?" They were not being nice to him. They were saying things that were terrible. But anytime someone would call in and say, "You suck, you shouldn't be on the air," he would hang up on them and hit the dump button. You know, like I hit the dump button when someone uses profanity. I was talking about it in the first hour. Someone said one of the words, so I hang up on them, I hit the dump button. What he would do, the person didn't say anything that was inappropriate. They hated him and said that he sucked. He would hang up on them, hit the dump button, and then he would mock them. Like he would talk in a voice pretending to be them. Everyone knew it was him mocking them, but he would claim that they were saying anti-Semitic things to him. He did this for an entire week, and I didn't say anything about it until Steve came back from vacation. So I remember Steve was in Italy, and he called me from Italy, and I told him what was going on. He said, "Don't say anything till I get back." So Steve came back from Italy, and I'm protecting this guy by not saying his name. He's not on the air anymore. But I don't even know if he's living or dead, or I don't know what happened to him. Some of you may know who I'm talking about, because I've told this story in the past, but not for a long time. So we somehow we arranged to get him in studio with Steve when Steve got back from Italy, and we had someone on the show from the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. And I told Steve the story that I just told you in a little more detail because it was the week before, it was fresher in my mind, and he denied it. He denied it. He says, "That is not true. Brian is a liar." And I gave very specific examples, and we even got calls from some of these people, called in and said, "Yeah, I called in, told him he sucked, he hung up on me, And then he said that I was saying terrible anti-Semitic things. And I remember one of the calls like, I'm a Jew. I wouldn't say something like that. So then he copped to it. He finally admitted, yes, I did do it. And he slammed his hand down on the desk in the studio. And the guy from the ADL was appalled at him and dressed him down. Richard Essen was the ADL guy's name, who was an attorney very famous in Miami at the time. He's since passed. And he said, what you did is what the Nazis and anti-Semites claim we do. Say something's anti-Semitic when it's not. And when you call someone anti-Semitic and it's not true, what you do is a disservice to everyone who has suffered in the past from anti-Semitism. And he really dressed him down, you know, with that. When you accuse someone of being a Nazi, a racist, a bigot, or some type of phobe that they throw out there, it's a terrible thing to do when it's not true, like Nick Sandmann or Turning Point USA and all the attendants there. And The View, the way they handled that apology yesterday was not acceptable. They need to be held accountable for that. And you know, Charlie Kirk's out there making it a big issue, and he's got a lot of friends that have, you know, in the media, and he's not going to let this go. And I'm glad. The media need to start being accountable. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian Craig, back right after this.
Bringing the heat to your radio every morning. It's the Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning at 10 a.m. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to an awesome start. We're going to see daytime highs today in the low 90s, hazy, hot, and humid due to Sahara dust over the peninsula. I'm WTVF 25 First Morning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
We're still incident-free this morning for the Palm Beach commute. 95 on the Turnpike are up to speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter and remain incident-free. The surface streets are also crash-free. Light volume is now building on Glades Road eastbound towards 95. Also on Glades Road eastbound passing the Turnpike. We do have a multi-vehicle crash in Broward County on I-95 heading northbound on the ramp to Oakland Park Boulevard. The off-ramp center lane is blocked. With that earlier crash, we had in Tamarack on the Sawgrass Expressway southbound before Commercial is now off to the right shoulder. This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Part Care Centers, the Napa Network has everything you need to get up and go. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
It's hurricane season, and if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you have a leak in your roof. When we had a leak in our roof at the Kane household, we called Tom Laporta. He's the best in the business. Remember, small leaks turn into medium leaks, and medium leaks turn into big problems. Call licensed contractor Tom Laporta for a free roof inspection. 954-604-4602. And tell him Steve Kane sent you.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code hot. For a $5 bonus on your first tank, you can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
I was 53, divorced, and ready to get back out there. I was unsure about dating sites, but I signed up for Silver Singles and quickly met Lily.
Mark and Lily rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want.
Lily's a lover of the great outdoors like me, and we instantly connected over it.
If you're like Mark and want to rediscover that feeling, sign up today at silversingles.com/meet. That's silversingles.com/meet.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. This is Matt Crowder, live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow! Oh, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRAG for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRAG for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code DRAG.
Live, local, and in your face. Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and...
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. You know, everyone's all upset at Joe Manchin, and I'm not upset about it. You know why I'm not upset? I knew. You know, the guy's a Democrat. You know, when we had this going on with Sinema and Manchin months ago, not supporting this, and people were all getting excited about Sinema and Manchin, and I told you guys then, they're Democrats. In the end, they're going to cave. You know, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Manchin's the greatest guy," and all this stuff. He's still a Democrat. Okay, you can't put your faith in a Democrat. It's never going to work. I'm not surprised. And some of the crooked ways that they've come up to try to explain this to people is bizarre. Okay, you know, this all this climate stuff. They got this whole list of things that are going to pay for it and all this. Give me a break. Don't trust a Democrat. They will always cave. I'm not surprised they got Manchin. The men are easier to compromise than the women. You know what I mean? 1-888-465-2631. I'm surprised it took them this long to break Manchin. 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Louisiana. What's up?
Hey, man. Hey, what's all those books behind you?
I've got a few books. I've got Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. I've got Dick Morris's new book on Trump, The Return. And then someone sent me 5 copies of a book called The Woking Dead by A.J. Rice, which is about what the liberal wokesters are doing to destroy America. Yeah. Are you watching on YouTube? You're watching me on YouTube, so you're wondering what's behind me?
I just started looking at you because I got up late this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How's it feel to wake up on recession day? Your president was handed a perfect country and perfect economy by President Trump, and he's wrecked it. Now we're in a recession. It's recession day.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, it's not? It's not a recession?
You know what gets me about you? We talking about this country is so messed up because of Biden. I want to tell you the other day, you said something about people. I think it's one of your podcasts. People got to go to the food banks and all this. I don't know if you said it or Fox said it. People have been going to food banks way before Biden, way before Trump, way before. It's always been, people always have problems.
Yeah, but you know what? The people that are going to the food banks now are people that have never gone to food banks before. They've been able to make it now. Yeah, I'm glad you called because, see, you can educate me a little bit. You can educate me. You said this is not a recession, which is, that's great news. I don't want us to be in a recession. That affects all of us in this country. Could you tell me what the definition of a recession is? Since we're not in one, you should be able to tell me what the definition is.
Actually, why don't you tell me what it is?
No. No, you said we're not. You're not going to take my question and try to turn it into yours. You said we are not in a recession. So since you said we're not in a recession, you must be able to tell me what it is.
I'm not going to answer you because.
You know the answer, but you're not going to tell us. I said what a recession is earlier on the show in the first hour, on the air, on all 6 of our radio stations. Why don't you just admit that you don't know what a recession is? You don't know the definition.
I don't.
Well, then tell us. Then tell us what it is.
Tell you something. I wish I could find who owns your radio.
Oh yeah. So tell me what a recession is. You said you know what it is. Tell me what it is.
You're not going to make me look stupid on the air, so I'm not going to even try to do it.
I'm not making you look stupid on the air. You're making yourself look stupid on the air.
Sorry. You calling me stupid?
No. You said I'm not going to make you look stupid. I said something. I said we're in a recession. You said we are not. So maybe I don't know what a recession is. You obviously do.
Everybody is talking about. I'm watching all the news networks. How you watch Fox News, and they said right now, they said when we're gonna be in a recession, we're gonna be out of recession. So
yeah, but what I'm trying to find out is what is a recession. You said we're not in one. So if you could tell me what the definition is, maybe I'm wrong and you're right.
You tell me one. You tell me what it is.
Oh, I know what it is. But you don't, but you just won't admit that you don't know it, the definition. Then tell us what it is. Then tell us. Make me look stupid. You've had enough time in this conversation to Google it and read the definition off your phone, off your computer. All right, Louisiana, take care. Oh my goodness. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Oh my goodness. There we go. One liberal to the next. Oh man, I tell you. I don't mind Louisiana. A lot of people don't like Louisiana. I enjoy Louisiana's calls. I think Louisiana's calls are very good because through my handling and questioning of Louisiana, I think a lot of things are exposed there. And, Louisiana knows that we, and I don't mean me like the royal we, that Trump, Maga, that we are right on all these issues, but is not able to quite yet admit it to themselves. Not able to quite admit it to themselves. But, liberals walk around with these talking points, and they never have answers to the talking points. No one wants to have bad economic times in this country. Well, no American wants us to have bad economic times, right? We want the economy to be booming. Sadly, under Joe Biden, there's a lot of problems going on. And, the reason that Louisiana is a regular listener to this program is really kind of like a crying out for help. So I'm here. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. if you need help. 888-465-2631. You know, 50 members, all Republican, of course, 50 members of the House of Representatives have signed off on a request for Joe Biden to take a cognitive test. You know, the Republicans really, truly should be running on that. I think this has been forgotten by the media because it doesn't fit their narrative. If they remember it, they're certainly not going to talk about it. But the media was asking Donald Trump to take a cognitive test. Remember this? They were questioning the mental stability, the cognitive abilities of President Trump. And what did he do? He went out and took a cognitive test and then had his doctor come out with the results and have a press conference, Ronnie Jackson. And President Trump didn't just pass the cognitive test, he aced it. Remember that? And he was clearly not suffering from cognitive decline without the test. We knew that. Trump did it when the media asked, why won't this guy? Because he'll fail it, that's why. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, how you doing?
All right, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Maria. I'm from Florida.
Maria from Florida. What's up, Maria?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. I love your show. I love listening to it because that's all I listen to you now in the morning because I cannot watch Fox News anymore. I'm disgusted with them people. It makes my head hurt every time I hear them try to show clips of Trump and then they go to showing biased clips of, oh, Joe Biden doing this, Joe Biden doing that, but yet it's still, you guys still taking up from this guy. Call it out for what it is. You know, I got an article yesterday, I think it was from ABC, and ABC say, not Roger, but he said, what's the guy's name? Whatever his name is.
I don't know.
From Fox News.
Okay.
That he said he was done with Trump because of January 6th. That wasn't my call today, but my call today about the guy that you just
Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why you listen to that guy? That guy is such a homophobe. It doesn't make no sense. And I'm gonna call it just like I see it. He doesn't like white people. He doesn't even like himself because he comes on your show, call you, and lie to you and make you think you going crazy when you know what about the inflation, about a reception. We are in a reception, regardless if they want to hear it or not.
I mean, think about it. The global economy was shut down, and President Trump kept the economy going. And here we are. Everything's opened up, and Biden's wrecked it. Hey, Maria, I got to run for our break, but thanks for the call. All right, take care. 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the air since 1977. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the air since 1977.
They're the most polarizing talk show hosts in all of South Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center, CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. You have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them, and we look forward to doing that for the next 75 years. We don't just treat neuropathy at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have a specialized knee pain program with non-surgical solutions for bone-on-bone and knee pain issues. We also treat chronic back pain, ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder pain. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
This is Julian Rubenstein from The Income Show.
Listen to my show at 7:30 every Sunday morning, or listen anytime on the web at www.americanasset.com, where you will learn about structured notes earning approximately 8% interest income and our permanent portfolio strategy that strives to provide income growth and protection. And you can always call my office at 561-955-8500 to make an appointment to meet with me personally, Julian Rubenstein. Have a great day.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Have you ever wanted to feel like royalty?
I'm going to have a
Join our loyal listener club and sign up today at oldiesouthflorida.com. Once you're a member, you'll be eligible to get special deals, participate in exclusive contests, and more.
Hey man, that's groovy.
Plus, you'll get our newsletter in your inbox, packed with information on your favorite oldies personalities, inside information on your favorite artist, and great music insights. Visit oldiesouthflorida.com and join the loyal listener club today.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
What do you think of when you hear the word science? Are you intimidated or confused? Our show Science Rocks is here to help you better understand what science is and how it works. True science is not about politics or religion, and neither are we. I'm your host, Professor Atar, the Science DJ, and I'll be your guide. Join us every Saturday evening at 8:30 p.m.
Smarter than 95,000 milligrams of B6. Get smarter with the Steve Kane Show, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. You know, this female athlete in Russia, Brittney Griner, there was a story out of Russia. The Russian prison guards have said that Brittney Griner is not a woman. I don't know. But you've seen this story. Biden has the most effeminate Secretary of State we've ever had, and that's even including compared to the female Secretaries of State we've had. But they're talking about doing a prisoner swap, and hey, listen, I don't want to see any American in a Russian prison. I feel bad for Brittney Griner, although she should not have been taking the CBD on an international flight anywhere, especially to Russia. And I saw some video of her at the airport when they arrested her. She was wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. When Brittney Griner comes back to America, if she does, and I hope she does, do you think she's going to give up the BLM? Can you imagine the racism she's experiencing in that jail in Russia right now? They do not like black people in Russia. They don't. And Brittney Griner is dealing with some hardcore, real, true racism. Let me tell you right now. But they're talking about, and Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, won't deny it. They're talking about doing a prisoner swap for with that merchant of death arms dealer for Brittney Griner. Now, I know a lot of conservatives are like, let Brittney Griner rot. I don't want to see any American go to some gulag. She's gay. They hate gays in Russia. She's black. They hate blacks in Russia. And she's also like 7 feet tall. I mean, she's got this freaky size to her. They're going to harass her and do all kinds of terrible things to her. She won't survive it. So I want her to come home. But with that being said, even if she comes home and joins up with Kaepernick, I mean, she's still an American, And she's an American, so they'll be beating her because of that, too. You put black, gay, freakishly tall, and an American, she's not going to survive the experience. There's no way. But with all that being said, do you really think it's a good trade? Brittney Griner for the merchant of death arms dealer? That the Biden administration is willing to give the Russians an arms dealer who's going to go back to arms dealing, which means he'll be responsible for the death of innocent people in the future, maybe even Americans. For Brittney Griner, I don't think that's a very good trade, Biden. I really don't. That's I don't think that's a good one at all. And now that it's out there, it's going to happen. But I'll tell you this: when Brittney Griner does get released, she's not going to leave the BLM. She's going to embrace BLM and the leftist even more. She's going to become a professional leftist activist, and it's not going to stop her. And that's really a shame because, you know, Brittney Griner, like a lot of athletes that are successful, they make it a living playing a little kids game. And WNBA, that's not even a for-profit organization. I mean, nobody, you know, to play women's basketball, the only ones making money out of that are the players. It's a loser. Nobody wants to see that. Not enough people to make it profitable. It's not a real business. But her over there experiencing real racism, and I've seen the way these guards drag her around. They're not being nice to her. Even when they're on television, they're dragging her around. They're not, you know. So you imagine what they're doing when there aren't cameras around. Now that she's experiencing real racism, not this snowflake idea of racism back here in America, you would think, oh no, she'll wake up. She won't be into that anymore. It's going to be worse because she's going to be able to make a huge multi-million-dollar a year living being a professional race hustler. And it's really unfortunate. And, you know, it's sad. But still, I want her to come home. She's an American, and I don't want her over there being tortured because she's an American, like is going to happen. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll free call from anywhere. Those of you that are new to the program, whether you agree or disagree, you are welcome to call in. We are here with you on the radio weekday mornings from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. And if you haven't noticed, we're a little partial towards Donald Trump. Isn't everyone? How could you not? You know, I was down on Fort Lauderdale Beach and I encountered a liberal. Got a little bit of a liberal reaction to my MAGA hat. You know, I was making a YouTube video for my YouTube channel, and I haven't made it public yet, but I will over the weekend. I made a video showing that the sea levels are not rising. And I have some evidence, and I documented and everything else. And I'm on Fort Lauderdale Beach filming, and I've got my Make America Great Again hat on. And a guy comes down and gives me a thumbs down. Nasty guy comes down, gives me this thumbs down and on the camera, and he walks away. The last time I went to Fort Lauderdale Beach with my MAGA hat on, because it was in the morning, you know, the bicyclists on the weekends, you know, they're all out, the professional bike riders. A group of gay bikers came by and yelled the F word at me, told me to take off my effing hat. They screamed it at me, then they rode by. You know, these tolerant liberals. You know, those of you that are liberal on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Now, I'm a resident here, lived here almost my whole life, grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I could be a tourist. You know, don't yell the F word at people on the beach because they've got Trump gear on, or mess up their videos, or try to. To me, it was great. I'm going to show that guy. He's in the video. Don't give a thumbs down to someone. I could be a tourist. They don't know that I'm a resident. And you come by and yell the F word at someone who's a tourist, they're not going to come back to our community. It's very poor representation from the tolerant left, I'm here to tell you. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's John in Wellington.
Oh, hey, John. How you doing?
Good. As far as I'm concerned, they can leave Brittney right where she is. If she comes back into this country, she's going to be more of a racist, a hateful BLM member. She's going to get involved with groups that are going to be responsible for the destruction of private property, possibly lives.
You know what, John? Okay. Remember that kid that President Trump got back from North Korea, Warmbier? What was his name? Warmbier? Remember what that kid did? They got him jammed up in North Korea? he defaced a poster on a wall somewhere. Okay, he was a hardcore liberal, and so were his parents. You know how I know that?
Because you saw them on the news.
No. The reason I know that and I feel bad for the kid. He died. You know, President Trump got him back. I know that the kid and his parents were hardcore leftists because he was over in Asia, and he called his parents, and they gave him money to go specifically to North Korea. Only a liberal would go to North Korea.
Correct. Yeah.
Because a conservative, we know better. You know, if you're an American and you go to North Korea, they're going to think you're a spy. They probably should think you're a spy. Same thing for these people that go to Iran. Only a liberal would send their college-age child to North Korea. I wouldn't want war, and what he did was wrong, worse than what she did. He committed some vandalism. I don't want someone who's an American to be tortured in one of these leftist prisons.
No, I don't
either, but when you leave the country and you go to a place like North Korea, you can expect the worst. If you're going to act out, if you're going to act like an idiot, stay in your own country where the penalties are going to be much less severe.
Yeah, but President Trump got multiple hostages back from North Korea. He got hostages back from Iran. Every American that's held in Iran or North Korea is either a spy for the CIA or a liberal. Just because we disagree with her politically, you want her to. She will not survive a prison term in Russia. She'll be dead. She will not survive it.
I agree with you, but again, 2 points. Like I said, actions have consequences, and if she does come back, she's going to be a holy terror. It's going to embolden her to act out even worse, and businesses in downtown places like Seattle are going to suffer. Innocent people.
Maybe. I'm still going to roll the dice. I'll say bring Brittney Griner home. President Trump would have had her home already. You know President Trump would have had her home already. And he wouldn't trade the merchant of death for her either. An arms dealer. No.
As far as Louisiana is concerned, he disagrees with you on every point just for the sake of disagreeing. If you told him that the sun rose in the east every morning, he would say, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just contrary. That's his purpose in life.
Well, no, what's happened with Louisiana is kind of new to the show. So when you're a liberal, when you're a Democrat, you're a lifelong leftist, and you start hearing conservatives talk, it's a shocking experience to them. You know, this is a liberal black man in Louisiana who's probably never had a conversation with a Republican ever before this program, before talking to me. And another thing, too, is white liberals, when they talk to blacks, they don't talk to blacks like they talk to white people. They all, because they're afraid. And part of what Louisiana's dealing with is I talk to Louisiana like I talk to any other guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're not used to that. All right, hey, listen, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks for the call. John in Wellington. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. After the break, we got an in-studio guest. His name's Joe Budd. He's running for Congress. And we may take some calls. I don't know, but we got a lot to talk about, okay? You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. And, of course, we are here 5 a.m. till 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, broadcasting on 6 radio stations. And our new listeners up in the Treasure Coast and the Palm Beaches, welcome to the program. I think this is our third week with our expanded radio stations, and we've been hearing from some pretty sharp people in the Treasure Coast and up in the Palm Beaches. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. When we get back, Joe Budd will be joining us, and we got a lot to talk about with Joe. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back right after this to talk about with Joe. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back right after this. Okay, good. Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, you can have a seat if you want. You can, I got those headphones for you. All right. And,
And Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station.
Got a few things here. You can move that mic if you want there to wherever you want to be.
Morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to an awesome start. We're going to see daytime highs today in the low 90s, hazy, hot, and humid due to Sahara dust over the peninsula. I'm WTV app. 25 first morning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
Oh, so we haven't seen each other in a while?
No, it's been a little while, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I drove by our old buildings over there a couple weeks ago. They're gutted out now. I don't know what's their...
Really?
Yeah.
So they're doing something else with them, huh? I've been over at Wings Plus a couple of times. We had an event over there.
Yeah.
I didn't drive down to look, so I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at Wings Plus too, and I hadn't been over there in a couple years, so I went by. Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
Getting stuck in traffic is part of owning a car. Getting stuck because you don't have the right parts doesn't have to be. That's because eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices, 122 million of them. So keep moving in style at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. That's Traffic. Chris Barr.
Here's your true oldies ABC.
Just a couple things about you so I don't forget.
I like how you're calling it Recession Day.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not good, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't know what a recession is, but we're not in one.
No,
you know?
we got an inverted yield curve, which predicted it.
Oh my gosh.
We got the numbers, 2 consecutive quarters, but that's not a recession apparently anymore.
Well, I filled up with gas on Inauguration Day. It was $1.59 a gallon. I mean, now, you know. Now I'm live streaming on YouTube, so there's people on YouTube can hear us during the breaks.
Okay.
I always got to tell people because you never know. You never know.
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone video and collaboration solution. Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month.
Yes.
Steve coming in anymore?
Steve has a studio at home, and he connects with us there. He lives in Cooper City. It's kind of far, you know, but he's got diverticulitis, so he's off this week. He's like a lot of pain. Oh, here we go.
Just call in 888-GO-CANE-1. Hello. You'll thank us later. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. In studio, we have a guy who's running for Congress who I've known for many years. His name's Joe Budd, who's pretty well known in this community. You're running for Congress in my district, actually. So if things go well and you're part of the red wave, you'll be my voice in Congress, Joe Budd.
I look forward to representing you and everyone else in the district.
Now, listen, the district you're running in, can you tell people what area that covers?
Sure, it's most everything in Boca Raton, Highland Beach. It's Parkland, Coral Springs, Margate, Coconut Creek, Deerfield Beach, and it runs down the coastline all the way to the port just north of the Fort Lauderdale Airport.
Now, this is like the incumbent's not running, right, in this district now?
Yeah, that's correct. It's been redrawn, redistricted. It's basically half of the old Ted Deutsch district, half of the old Allen West district. Allen West is fully supporting me in this race, in this primary we have August 23rd.
Now, this is you've got an interesting story as to how you ended up running for Congress, okay? President Trump actually told you should run.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm the founder president of Club 45. We had Governor Ron DeSantis in March. President Trump came in April. During President Trump's visit there in April, he said in front of our 1,500 people audience, which is every month, he said, Joe, we should run you for public office.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when President Trump tells you should do something, you should do it. So you're kind of like the congressional apprentice.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, I'll tell you something. This is really important because that district, the way it was set up before, it was a strong Democrat district, and it was kind of hopeless for us. And now that they've changed things around a little bit, this is a district that you're running in that's actually in play right now.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go too far into the weeds, but there's something called the Cook Political Report. They're the handicapper of all House races throughout the entire country. when I ran in 2010, it was a D26. The Democrats had a 26% advantage.
Yeah.
And I outperformed the Cook Political Report. I'm the only one that ever outperformed the Cook Political Report down in this area.
Yeah.
Now the Cook Political Report is calling it a D5. And you have to outperform to win, but I have a history of outperforming.
Yeah.
This is a winnable race.
Well, no, I am seeing your signs all over my neighborhood. One of my neighbors has, I didn't even know they were Republican. They have one of your signs in their front yard, one of my neighbors.
Yeah.
So, the words, there's a lot of people that aren't Democrats anymore that were Democrats not that long ago.
Well, I'm knocking on doors. I've been in Lighthouse Point the last week and a half knocking on doors. We have people putting Joe Bud yard signs in the yards all over Lighthouse Point, all over the district, okay? But I'm hearing that at the door. Oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm not voting for a Republican this year because my list has all Republicans on it. But sometimes it's a mixed household.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I've been having some fun with the people that are in mixed households too.
I don't think I could live with a Democrat. I just don't know how that would go if my wife were a Democrat.
No, it's funny. I
don't
knocked
know.
on one door, and the husband was a Democrat, and the wife was a Republican. He was home. He took my card. We joked at the door. And when I was coming back around to get to my car, I saw the wife pulled in the driveway, and I let her know. I said, "Hey, your husband has a card from me." And I said, I just want to make sure he gives it to you because you're the Republican in the house. And she laughed. It was just kind of fun.
Well, there's an old phrase that you don't hear anymore. It's kind of gone away, but people vote their pocketbook. I haven't heard that in years, but that used to be a big catchphrase. And I mean, people right now cannot even afford to fill their cars up with gas.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. The Biden administration, they're celebrating gas prices have come down about 50 cents. I mean,
they bring them up a couple dollars, they bring them down 50 cents, and we're supposed to be happy at the crumb.
Exactly.
But every gas station sign, like I saw today, under $4. I saw somewhere $3.80 or something on the way. But I remember on Inauguration Day, and I took note of this. I went up to see the president when he came home that day while he was still president in his first term, and I paid $1.59 a gallon. And I made note of that because President Trump had said, hey, $7, $8, $5 gas is going to happen. And I was like, I don't know, that seems a little crazy. And here we are. And that has an effect on the price of everything. And people are really struggling, Joe Bud. And this is, it's an interesting thing. You say, you're meeting Democrats who say, I'm not going to vote for Democrats. Even if they don't vote, they're voting Republican by having a lower voter turnout. So this is really a great time for Republicans.
Absolutely. You talk about fossil fuel industry. The Democrat Party wants to end that. They've been very clear at that. As long as they think that climate change is the greatest threat to humanity, they don't want. They want high oil prices. They don't want the fossil fuel industry. So we're going to pay high gasoline prices as long as that's their belief.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? This senile old coot we have is the president right now. Come on. I was talking to a caller earlier. This is now a recession, right? I mean, we're officially in a recession right now.
Well, we're going to know at 8:30 today.
Well, we're going to declare it 22 minutes early.
Right.
We know. And the White House, they keep telling you, no, that's not the definition of a recession. It's something else. How can they fix a problem that they won't even acknowledge is there?
Well, they're not going to fix it. They're not looking to fix it right now. There's a whole different philosophy between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. We would like to fix this economy because this economy is being affected by two major things. High oil prices, which is over 6,000 products, the travel industry, the transportation side of all the goods and services, okay? That's a major factor in current inflation. The other side of that coin is there's a lack of supply, okay? And Republicans would rather fix the lack of supply and get the supply chains, going again. But the Democrats, they'd rather slow the economy down and make it hard for everybody.
Yeah. Well, Biden sold how many tens of millions of barrels of oil from the Strategic Oil Reserve to China? 950 million barrels, I think it was. And there's another sale from the Strategic Oil. Gas prices are affected by the future expectation of the supply, And selling 1 million barrels of oil to China when we're paying this much money for gas from the Strategic Oil Reserve is treasonous.
Right. Well, he should be asked why he's done that and explain that to the American people. but then he probably doesn't remember doing it anyway.
Well, yeah, but we know why. The company he sold it to is connected to that hedge fund that Hunter is a part of, which means Joe. So he basically sold the oil to himself, when he sold it to China. It's a really tough thing we're in right now, and I think, what's happened, you and I haven't seen each other in a long time, and there's been a lot of changes in the Republican Party, and and I'm sure you see this. You're the founder of Club 45, and Club 45 is nationally known. It's the largest Trump club in America, and Club 45 is really kind of in what traditionally has been a Democrat area.
Right, exactly. When we first founded that club, we had a discussion. Should we be a chartered Republican club and then have to follow all the rules of being a chartered Republican club? We talked about it, we discussed it, we talked about the rules, and we put it to a vote. In our second meeting, we put it to a vote. Overwhelmingly, 80% to 20%, they didn't want to be a charter Republican club.
Yeah.
And we have many Democrats that come out and join the club. So we are a nonpartisan club. Of course, we lean Republican heavily, but it is a nonpartisan club.
Well, I think what's happened with President Trump, who has just completely changed what Republicans were, and you go to any Trump-related event, whether it's your Club 45, you go to a Trump rally, there is an ethnic and racial diversity that you never saw with the Republican Party 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, even in my race right now, at our Trump club back in June, it was the Monday before Father's Day. And there was a significance to Father's Day this year. It was the first Father's Day that was also our national holiday, Juneteenth. And I spoke about Juneteenth from my heart, passionate about it, because like you, like Steve Kane, my sister's married to a black man. I have 5 nieces and nephews that are biracial. I grew up in a minority neighborhood. I played sandlot football with Larry Holmes. It's a neighborhood I'm comfortable with. I spoke to the Juneteenth issue. 7-minute video on my YouTube account. You can see the passion that I have for that community. And that community agrees with us. They have the same ideals, the same values as we do. They're just looking for a good reason to vote again for the Republican Party.
Well, the black community, when you get to the social issues, even though they may not have realized it, we're very much in tune with Republicans, because you've got a religious church-going community in the black community. So socially, abortion and things like that, we've always been in league with them. And when you look at the overturning of Roe v. Wade that just happened because of these great choices that President Trump put on the Supreme Court, there has been very little outrage against it. Like if this were 10 or 15 years ago, the Democrats would have been in the streets in every major American city protesting against it, and you're not hearing that now like you used to.
Right. Well, we know that abortion has disproportionately affected the black community.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say that the most dangerous place for a black man to be is in the womb of his mother.
That's right.
And so that's historically, it's been heavily, you see the Planned Parenthoods all set up in their neighborhoods.
That's right.
And that's not a good thing, and they don't like abortion.
Well, since Martin Luther King died, blacks have made up about 12%, give or take, of the population. It's remained steady all these years without any growth, and that's because, in large part, abortion. Well, those days are over now. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and be right back after this.
The Steve Kane Show, telling it like it is, whether you like it or not. Oldies 90.
All right, it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us this morning?
I just came back from a very enjoyable vacation. I'm sure a lot of people are enjoying the summer travel, and after being cooped up all this time during the COVID days. And so one that we hear a lot when people come into our office is they want to get their estate planning done or reviewed or updated before they go on any travel. A lot of times husbands and wives or entire families go together on a trip, and that's when it's a really good idea to make sure that, God forbid, anything happens, if anything unfortunate were to happen, at least you have everything in place so things are set up so that things will go smoothly. The right people receive the assets, the wrong people don't. You have the right people in place to make decisions and handle things for you. That's what good estate planning is really about, to keep the courts out of it, to keep lawyers out of it, and to make sure it goes smoothly. And so before travel, or also before any kind of hospitalization or surgery, that's also another time that a lot of people want to get their estate planning looked at, reviewed, and up.
Yeah, that's right. And, it's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mentioned that you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. And the Siegel Law Group have offices throughout South Florida. But if you can't make it in, that's okay. In this age of Zoom and everything that we've gotten into, they can handle business that way as well. And no matter where you're located in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help. Give them a call. It's toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel. We will touch base tomorrow. All right. Take care. We'll be right back.
Grab your coffee and get ready to be triggered. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, and if you're wondering, Steve is out, and he'll be back next week. In studio, we have Joe Budd. You can find him online at Vote Joe Budd. That's Bud with 2 Ds. VoteJoeBudd.com. He's running for Congress in my district, and I'll be voting for you. My wife will be voting for you, and my daughter will too. Okay, because this is really, Joe, an amazing time in Florida. And we hear everyone's moving to Ron DeSantis' free Florida. And one of the biggest problems people are having are rent prices. I mean, luckily I bought my house many years ago. I could not afford to live in my own neighborhood if I was moving into it right now. I really couldn't. And I've been seeing terrible stories of good, hardworking people that are, the rent's going up, and now they're living in their cars. I mean, what can be done about that?
Well, first of all, a lot of things could be done about it, but I just want to say the front runner on the Democrat side in this primary, he's on the Broward Housing Council. They've had 3 meetings this year. He has not shown up to one of those meetings. So that tells you he doesn't think this is a problem. He'd rather hobnob and raise money with his billionaire buddies than show up at a Broward Housing Council meeting. So he's not taking that serious. This is a serious issue. And I think several things can be done with it. And I've always favored public-private partnerships. First of all, the Republican Party in Florida is doing something about it as well. In 2021, the budget for affordable housing to help in those issues was $200 million here in the state of Florida. They significantly raised that for 2022 to be $350 million. It's the Republicans that care about that issue. The Democrat Party is no longer the party of the working class people. The Republican Party is. And on a federal level, we can also have funds, too, to form partnerships to convert things. Like right now in the district, down on Cypress Creek Road, there's this old shopping center. This shopping center has been abandoned for 10, 12 years. That would be an ideal place to have a public-private partnership where the feds can come in, partner with a contractor, help to build low interest rates, whatever those things look like, to help subsidize that in a certain way, to build and convert and make apartments there that can be affordable housing apartments. But my opponent on the Democrat side, he's got no interest in that. Apparently.
Yeah. And that's a big problem for people. And I understand supply and demand. We know how it works, but it's still, I don't live in a rental area, but some of the houses in my community are rented, and I've seen people, the lease is up and they're moving, and I'll say, why are you moving? Well, the landlord raised the rent, and it's a tough thing. It really is. Another thing that's happening in Florida that is wonderful, though, is for the very first time, Republicans outnumber registered Democrats in Florida, which was unheard of.
In 2018, the Democrats had a 250,000 registration advantage, and that's almost completely flipped now. The governor said on Saturday down at the Sunshine Summit that we now have a 220,000 voter registration advantage. So that's almost 500,000 people have switched or moved in. And we now have a nice lead instead of a deficit there. Yeah, and we were talking about African Americans, black, voting for Republicans. That used to be so rare. I mean, but there's other groups too that are traditionally Democrat that are no longer Democrat. Jews. It was if you meant someone who was a senior
or a Jew, you just assume they were a Democrat. And to meet a Jewish Republican was in South Florida was a very rare thing. That's not the case anymore.
No, that's not the case either. I mean, both those examples, Governor DeSantis only won by 33,000 votes in 2018. We were that close to having Andrew Gillum.
Could you imagine?
But it was the black female voter that put him over the top.
Yeah.
And what was the issue? The issue was school choice.
Yeah.
Okay. The black female mom wants to be able to send her children to better schools. And again, the Republicans have that covered. That's a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. They don't want competition for the public school system that they have right now.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the coin too, the Jewish population is now voting 45% Republican.
It's
and
amazing.
that number's rising as well. So
that's amazing.
It's a trend out there. And then the Hispanics are more than 2/3 voting Republicans now. So this race again is a very winnable race. We have 14% black community, 21% Hispanic community. We have a large Jewish community here as well.
Well, you know, what President Trump and DeSantis have done, both of them, because they're both spectacular, they've changed the expectations that voters have for elected officials. They want results now, not just rhetoric. And I mean, you talk about Andrew. If Andrew Gillum, God help us, had become governor, we'd still be locked down in Florida. It'd be a wreck.
Absolutely, and we would have our population growth.
No.
Hey, at least we wouldn't have an affordable housing crisis. We wouldn't come to Florida, right?
We'd all be homeless, living in our cars. No, but I don't think people appreciate Ron DeSantis. Andrew Gillum, who was found drunk in his own vomit on the floor in a Miami Beach hotel room with a male prostitute with methamphetamines on the bed next to him. I mean, that would have been our governor if President Trump had not endorsed Ron DeSantis.
That's a sad situation. I mean, when someone gets addicted to drugs and things like that, they just do things they wouldn't normally do. I feel bad for him and his family.
I do feel bad, but he would have been our governor, and it would have been a terrible thing during the crisis. And, you know, here we are, they're talking about this monkeypox thing now. Biden's about to declare another national emergency with the monkeypox, and Governor DeSantis has vowed no more lockdowns in Florida. It's not going to happen.
Right, exactly. And of course they want to do this nationwide again because that allows them to skirt the laws on you know, proliferation of these absentee ballots and all that kind of stuff. You know, stay home. We don't know where these ballots are coming from. So
now, before I want to go over, because the district that you're running in, this is very important. I want people in the listening audience to know what area this is, because I know, you know, people hear the number of the district. No one knows the number of their own congressional district. So you're running for Congress, Joe Budd. What area specifically does the district cover? Most of Boca?
Yeah, most of Boca, except for a very small piece of the northwest corner of western Boca Raton. All of Highland Beach, all of Parkland, all of Coral Springs, all of Margate. There's most of Coconut Creek and Deerfield Beach because there's a sliver of the minority district that the former Alcee Hastings district comes up through there. But then from Pompano, the coastline of Florida, all the way down to just north of the airport at the port there. That's all in the district.
So it's a big district, and it's been completely redrawn.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Like I said, half of the old Allen West district, half of the old...
You know, this period that we're in right now, I mean, there's no question there's going to be a massive red tsunami. I'm trying to get the term blue flush going on, but, you know, no one wants to see bad economic times, and this time of year is really rough. School's getting ready to go back in session, and I can only imagine what it is like for young parents that have to buy new clothes, school supplies, new shoes for the kids with this rate of inflation that's going on. And you know, we have the primaries coming up. When's your primary?
Primary is August 23rd. Early voting starts here in Palm Beach County on August 8th and August 13th in Broward County. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Every vote counts, and a lot of people that are in traditional Democrat areas may feel like, you know what, I'm in a Democrat. Don't think that. There's a lot of Democrats that are going to go out, and they may still be Democrats, but they're going to vote for Republicans in the general election, and we need to get the right people like Joe Budd winning in these primaries, because President Trump's coming back in 2024, and Governor DeSantis is going to be reelected, and we need the right people there. You know, one thing I was watching a debate with Carrie Lake out in Arizona over the weekend, and her primary opponents would not say they were America first, and that's just something I don't understand, Joe Budd. Yeah, Well, to be America first, and it's not just I'm a wealthy person first. That's the old Republican Party.
Yeah.
That's not what it is anymore. We're all Americans first. We want to have our priority here at home.
That's well, you know what it is. My grandfather, who was an old Union guy, from like the 30s, and he would always tell me, the Democrats are the party of the people, the Republicans are the party of big business and rich, and that's just not the case. The Republican Party is the party of working people and small business, not big business. That doesn't mean you can't be in it and be rich or have a big business. But you look at the problems that we've faced over the last year and a half. I was talking to a liberal caller yesterday, and I asked them a question. They hung up when I asked them, but I asked them, can you tell me one thing that Joe Biden has done as president that's helped one American?
No, and you just can't do it.
No, well, if you're South American, he's done a lot to help you, by having a completely open border. And there's a story now that the Biden administration is talking about giving government-issued IDs to the border jumpers so they can qualify for government benefits. And let me tell you, when people are struggling financially in this country that have worked hard their entire life, hear that they're going to give government benefits to people that are here illegally and have been here for 5 minutes, that upsets people.
Well, we're not going to solve this problem either until what's happening now. Mayor Bauer in Washington, D.C., everybody's sending their illegal aliens to
beautiful.
Washington, D.C., and until they actually see it's a real problem when the Democrat-run cities are being overrun, then we'll actually be able to fix this problem.
That's right.
I think that's a great thing that the governors in Texas and Florida here are doing, sending these and busing these immigrants to Washington, D.C.
It's working. Mayor Adams in New York, he's like, you got to stop doing this. They don't like it. They don't like it. Yeah. Well, listen, Joe Budd, he's running for Congress here in South Florida. You can find him online, votejoebud.com. That's Bud with 2 Ds. votejoebud.com. I'll be voting for you, and as I said, my whole family will Joe Bud, and you guys should too. And remember, President Trump told Joe Bud that he should run, and he's running. So that's, and I know you guys out there are good MAGA people. You know what that means. That means vote Joe Bud. Well, Joe, it's good to see you. Let's not let it be so long next time.
Sure, absolutely.
Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. My name's Brian Craig. We will be back right after this.
Tired of?
Okay. Went a little long there. I appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome.
I think one thing is if you can even plug after I leave.
I will, of course.
There's a primary.
Yeah.
And I'm the only guy who's ever won a title. Okay, and I've won 3 of my last 4
yeah.
races. I have more political experience than anybody in there. It's very important to vote in the primary.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I'm right here. I'm the Palm Beach County State Committeeman. I won my last race, 73%.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Can I keep this?
I defeated a popular 3-term incumbent to win that first race in 2016, and then I won in a landslide for re-election.
Well, one thing you got going for you, the opponents in the primary, their names aren't out there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They're not out there at all. Nobody knows who they are.
Pruden was the 2020 nominee, and Swaffer's the only one. The other 4 have absolutely no recognition.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, that's exactly right. And your signs are up everywhere. Yeah. Every 10 feet.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Anytime.
I'll be back.
Absolutely, right. Absolutely. We'll see you. Thanks for coming, Joe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sorry, Rich, I lost track of the clock. I took the break late. I lost track of the clock there. I'm sorry. No.
Technologies advisor today, 877 Ask Dell. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now at Boca in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is. South of Palmetto on the east side of 441. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
Improve your vehicle's gas mileage and power with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And right now, buy 1 6-ounce bottle and get 1 free, plus earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Save money on gas and boost performance with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. An honest auto mechanic, you probably do repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. He works on all makes and models, new, old, classic cars, even hybrids. Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey, Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're headed to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOT for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain,
Dino,
or
$5 super
osteoarthritis?
sticker. Thank you. Everyone thank Dino for that.
Stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey, Wisconsin. This is Matt Crowder, live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow! Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRAG for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRAG for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code DRAG.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used
Steve
tires.
Kane Show.
I have.
All right. Hold on. Steve Kane Show.
I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with...
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Do not let these primaries slide by, people. Okay, that's why we were talking to Joe Bud today. Very important. All right, let's go to our phones. 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Lisa, and I'm calling from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Lisa.
And I'm so glad that you had Joe Bud on because I actually work in Lighthouse Point, and I'm actually in the district because I was wondering about him, and I think he's going to be awesome.
Well, what I was talking to Joe Bud about is, in midterm elections and primaries, a lot of people are a little checked out. Okay, this is a time where we have a chance to take what is traditionally a Democrat seat that the Democrats have taken for granted for many, many years and turn it red. Yeah, I do too. All right. Yeah.
The comic, the basketball player, And I don't agree with what I mean, I know she's an American, but she's really not a true American because she doesn't respect this country. And when she does come back, she's gonna, and I don't like what they're trading her for. I don't.
Well, they shouldn't be trading her for the merchant of death, but hold on. I'd like to hear your response to what I said to a caller in the last hour. President Trump, I've forgotten how many hostages he got released. He was getting hostages released from Iran and North Korea like every other day for a while. Any American who is visiting North Korea or Iran is either a spy or a liberal. You have to be a liberal idiot to go to North Korea or Iran. Just because we disagree with someone politically, they're still an American. I mean, what happened to Warm Beer was awful in North Korea. But I promise you, him and his parents lib.
Yeah, I know, I get it. I just don't think that I think she's going to do exactly what, or he, I don't know if it's a man, I can't even tell, but who cares? She doesn't, it's
Bruce,
not the right trade.
It's certainly not the right trade. No, there's no getting around that. You don't give an arms dealer for this BLM basketball player. But you agree that she won't survive prison over there, right? I mean, she's black, gay, she'll be dead. So it's an American life. But the chances are, if she makes it back to America, she's going to become more radical with BLM than she is now. There's because they're going to embrace her. And that's really a sad thing, but no, I don't want her over there. Have you seen them dragging her around in the handcuffs? They're on television. They're abusing her.
You're right, because behind the scenes, without the cameras,
I know. I sound like a bleeding heart. But well, I wouldn't want the Democrats to leave an American over there because they were MAGA. Yeah, I know. All right, thanks for the call, Lighthouse Point. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you're gone. All right, 888 Cocaine 1 is the number. 888-465-2631. Now, I want to recap something I started with at 6 a.m. because this is just a great thing. We have the greatest governor ever in Ron DeSantis. We've had good governors. Rick Scott was a great governor. He was a great governor. Jeb Bush was a very good governor. We've never had someone like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is like Superman of governors. I mean, thing about Ron DeSantis, there have been major controversial issues, and he's gotten right in on them. He doesn't hide from them like a lot of guys do in his position. He's up for re-election, and he's still out there taking what really would be considered positions he doesn't have to take that bring up controversy he doesn't have to get involved in. He is involved in an incident in Miami right now that is shocking to me. I did not know this was in Miami until I saw the Ron DeSantis press conference yesterday. There's a drag queen bar in Miami. They had a drag show with children, and the children who were brought there by their wackadoodle left-wing parents to this drag club, the little children were putting dollar bills in the underwear of the drag queens. And Ron DeSantis has gotten involved in this. Listen to this. This is Ron DeSantis talking about the drag show for the children down in Miami. This is yesterday.
There was a video out of Dallas where they had all these young kids
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Oh. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
so it's Department of Business and Professional Regulation. They started an investigation. They actually had agents going to this place and conducting effectively just gathering information, getting intelligence, seeing what's going on. And what they found was not only were there minors there for some of these, and these are sexually explicit drag shows, they actually the bar had a children's menu on their food service. And you think to yourself, give me a break, what's going on? So they looked under Florida law and were able to initiate this procedure that would basically, take away the liquor license for that. And that basically
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that really, truly is amazing. And that's a stand he does not have to take. Because he is, we're in primary season now. He's going to win that primary. And he's out there, even during a primary, he's still out there taking some positions that some people wouldn't agree with. I don't understand why anybody would disagree with that. But what's going on right now is gotten so far out of bounds, we're witnessing the end of the Democrat Party as we know it. It's been taken over by radicals, whether it's the squad radicals, the socialist radicals. Democrats have always had socialists, but they weren't open about it. Now they're out of the closet. These groomer activists in the Democrat Party, the Democrat Party that you've known is gone. In these two elections, this one, midterm, and then the presidential election, it's going to be the end of it as it currently is known. They've been taken over by these lunatics. I mean, who would take their kid and think it's a proud thing to make videos about pussy? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Empty my tab.
Okay, what can I do for you? Yes. You called?
Joe.
Great.
Old Patriot. And it's not Louisiana.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, well, listen, thanks for the call. And welcome to the show. All right, take care. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. A toll-free call from anywhere. But this issue with this is how far the Democrats have gone. If you go and read the stories about that online, outside of like your traditional conservative outlets, okay, like Breitbart has a story, for example, on this drag queen thing in Miami. If you go to the mainstream media about it, they're actually critical of DeSantis on this issue. They've lost their sense of reality on pretty much every issue that we're facing today, and this is a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. And when you look at the issues that we're facing today, you can't point to one of them where the Democrats are doing anything but the wrong thing. Now, we're going to take our break. When we get back from the break, we'll take some more calls. We've got a few more things to discuss as well. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be, after our break, we'll be back to your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. On the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be, after our break, we'll be back to your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE-1.
The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with our look at the gold and precious metals market for this morning. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Very good, Brian. As we had mentioned yesterday, that we thought the metals would be bottoming out where they were and could start to rebound significantly. That's exactly what happened yesterday after the Fed announced a 0.75% increase in the Fed fund rate, and that pushed the metals up $17.50. Actually, we got up to $1,742 at one point, and closed up $17.50 yesterday at $1,734.80. Silver made a huge gain, breaking through the $1,900 barrier that we had seen, and closing up 47 cents at $19.08 the ounce, while platinum was up $13 at $8.87, and palladium gained $16 at $1,960. The rally continues this morning as we got up to as high as $1,749 an ounce on gold this morning, trading in a range of $1,734 to $1,749, up now $1,748.50 near the highs, up $13.70. Silver up another 52 cents at $19.60 the ounce. Platinum up $3 at $890, and palladium is up $34 right now at $1,994 the ounce. Markets look very stable, very strong, and like I said, I'm very proud of the Steve Kane listeners who took advantage of the nice sales that we had on precious metals over the.
Oh yeah, and now it's officially out, William Yergaman, recession, the word. It's in all the news now officially because the report just came out a few minutes ago. The metals have always been, in times of economic trouble, a safe haven with your money, right, William Yergaman? Yeah, they have. So give William Yergaman a call. They open up weekdays at 10 a.m. No matter where you're located, they can do business with you over the phone. But if you want to stop in person, they're located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call toll free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. We'll be right back.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, and for those that are wondering, Steve Kane has diverticulitis. And I don't know, every 2 to 4 years he has an outbreak of it, and it's very painful, and that's why he's not been with us this week so much. And I expect Steve to return next week. And the first time he had diverticulitis, I didn't even know how to say it. I couldn't pronounce it, but I can say it well now because every couple of years he has a flare-up. But he's doing well. I was talking to Steve last night, and he wanted to come back today, but it'll be next week. I'm pretty positive. Okay, so it is now official. The numbers have come out. We're in a recession. And, you know, the White House press briefing, let me play this clip of Jean-Pierre yesterday with Ducey.
If things are going so great, though, then why is it the White House officials are trying to redefine recession?
No, we're not redefining recession.
If we all understand a recession to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth in a row, and then you have White House officials come up here and say, no, that's not what a recession is. It's something else. How is that not redefining recession?
Because that's not the definition.
Wow. Well, Ducey today should ask her what I asked Louisiana, if Jean-Pierre could define recession. What is it then? And this is CNN with Biden's chief economic advisor yesterday.
I mean, it's been very clear the president, your whole team has been pushing back aggressively on if the country is in a recession and how worried the country should be about entering a recession in light of this. The New York Times put it this way today. To paraphrase an old political adage, if you're explaining how recession calls are made, you're losing. Do you see that, Jared?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we've gotten into a technical discussion about what constitutes a recession, and I think, look, bringing the facts to the table is something that we as economic advisors have to do.
Okay, see, they can't, they're not even going to admit that we're in one. So today it'll be interesting to see how the Democrats handle this, okay, at the White House press briefing today. I know a lot of you guys don't like Jean-Pierre. I don't like Jean-Pierre. But today's a big day in the White House press briefing this afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not there today and has one of her underlings do it. This is going to be a rough day because, CNN and MSNBC have turned on them. That new poll that came out, 75% of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run for re-election. Their number one choice is Mayor Pete, which tells you how far gone they're out of reality. Mayor Pete, never done a thing in his life. The supply chain crisis is under his realm as transportation secretary. He's not doing anything about that, and he's their number one pick. But 75% do not want Joe Biden to run for re-election. And let me tell you, the criticism you're hearing from CNN and MSNBC towards Joe Biden, that is historic. These news organizations, these left-wing mainstream news organizations, are not in the business of reporting negative information about Democrat presidents. They're in the business of covering up the news and being an extension of the White House press office when there's a Democrat president. And for the liberal mainstream media to be going after Biden on this particular issue, which is recession is bad news, and for the White House to fight them on it and tell them it's not that, that means they're in a bad state. They're in a bad state. We don't want bad economic trouble in this country because that affects all of us. But the White House being in a bad situation right now and having the mainstream legacy corporate media after them like CNN and MSNBC are, that's a good thing. All right, let's go back to the phones. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Talking to me?
Sounds like you.
My name's Gary. I'm calling from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey, Gary in Kentucky. What's up?
Well, I called you because I found out about you through your podcast.
Oh, great.
Listening to your podcast every day, and Kathy said night before, said really laid heavy on me. I really appreciated what she said when she was saying that Trump around than what he was the first time around, because when he went in there, he trusted everybody. Most people stabbed him in the back, and he, a lot of rhinos and stuff went against him and everything like that. And he just didn't. He just kind of like fell victim to all that stuff. This time around, I think he's ready.
I think he was ready the first time. Well, when President Trump puts together his team for 2024 and his new cabinet, it'll be very fast. It'll be revealing and fascinating to see who he picks, because now he knows who he can and cannot trust. Well, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. By the way, a lot of you don't know, I do host my podcast that I co-host with my wife, the Brian Craig Show podcast. The Brian Craig Show podcast, my wife and I host the program together and have for about a decade. My podcast was named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America. And a lot of people would say, why would you brag about being number 3? Well, let me tell you who 1 and 2 were, all right? Now, this is number 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast, named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America. Number 1 was Mark Levin. And that's not even a podcast. That's a rebroadcast of his radio show, but that's good. Mark Levin was number 1. Glenn Beck, The Blaze, number 2. And the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America, the Brian Craig Show podcast. So I'm very much happy to be in that crew. And I will definitely brag about being number 3 behind The Blaze and Mark Levin. I know. And by the way, my podcast is available on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Audible, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. If there's a podcast platform, my podcast is on it. Just search for The Brian Craig Show podcast. What the caller from Kentucky, though, was talking about with Trump. Now, I think Trump was prepared the first time. They weren't prepared for him. And think about everything that he got done when he had all these people against him. And he still got it done. Now, I think he was probably surprised at how many Republicans were working against him. And it was a very revealing thing about how corrupt the Republican Party establishment is. There's no doubt about it. But everything that he got done, which was absolutely amazing, he literally had a plague and all these evil forces against him, and he still got so much done. That's pretty amazing. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Richie the bus driver. What's up, Richie?
Yeah. On Fox yesterday, Charles, I forgot his name.
Charles Payne. Charles Payne.
Yeah. He said the American dream is over. He said this is awful for the middle and lower income people. The houses that are being sold right now are being sold to big companies and foreign nationals. He says the American people can't afford homes. He was showing the prices of what houses were and what they are now. And he said the whole thing is full.
Well, I'll tell you that the houses in my neighborhood that are selling now are being, and I look up who buys them and everything because I want to know, they're being bought by corporations out of state. And Ron DeSantis is starting to crack down on the Chinese buying things, and the Chinese have been buying single-family homes nationwide. And and we're involved in a very, very active Cold War with China, and China are doing a number of things to hit this country hard, and one of the things they're doing is driving up home prices to make home prices unaffordable to people. And that, a home, most people, a home is their biggest investment they ever make. They retire on their homes.
Month, a home was like an average home at $550,000. Today is worth less than $450,000. You've lost over $100,000 in a month. He said at this rate, it's really going.
Well, in Florida, we're about to get a housing price hit because they went up so high, and they say they're going to drop 20% on a dime, and half my neighborhood's up for sale. It seems. I'll tell you something that was very strange. There's a house at the end of my street that is for sale, and people came to look at it the other day, and they had Hawaii license plates. And I've only seen a Hawaiian license plate maybe one other time ever, and I thought that was usually. I mean, think about that. That's how far away that is. They had to ship their car from Hawaii. Usually, in the old, until this era we're in now, someone from Hawaii would move to California, not to Florida.
Starts at 10 a.m. on
yeah.
Let me tell you, they have a Trump economist that used to be with Trump. He says that's where you really get the truth. I mean, they're pounding this thing that the economy is really totally in a free fall here, and they got problems.
Well, a lot of people don't understand this. Steve Bannon begins his show and comes out of every break with that song about the Chinese Communist Party with that Chinese guy. I love that song, yeah. Let's bring down the CCP. What the Chinese government are doing to this country right now, I don't think people understand. They're buying massive amounts of farmland. They're buying single-family homes. And if you own a farm, you can control what the yields are there, how much it grows, how much it doesn't grow. Yeah, you know what I mean? The Chinese are doing things that the Russians never considered doing during the Cold War with Russia.
In closing, you have a president now that says nothing when the Speaker of the House wants to go to free China, I call it free China, because they've been
Taiwan, yeah,
communist China. Why you think Trump would have put up this?
Well, you were called yesterday about the thing with the eyes with Biden. Okay, not only did he not blink, but he had his eyes wide open. And a lot of people were writing about that online that have some medical expertise, and they said the way Biden was with his eyes, this was day before yesterday, I heard two different things said: Parkinson's or cocaine, one or the other. And I'm leaning I'm talking about medical experts, okay? I'm not, and I think he has. I think he has Parkinson's. I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but I think he has severe Parkinson's.
Anybody says like this schmuck from Louisiana says, "Oh, Parson, you're not a doctor. You don't know." Oh, put your eyeballs and look at this guy shuffled across the lawn. He's a zombie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Richie the bus driver. Take care. Take care. Oh man. All right. Listen. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. I want to thank Joe Budd. Again, you can find information out about Joe Budd at votejoebud.com. That's Bud with 2 D's. He's running for Congress here in South Florida. votejoebud.com. Those of you that are new to the program, welcome. And we've had some pretty good calls today. Some that were but we've had some really good calls to the program today. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. We are here weekday mornings from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And if you want to learn more about the show, about me and Steve Kane, go to our website, stevekaneshow.com. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies is here.
Whoops. Drop the phone.
VCMG Live radio station.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in. And please subscribe and like the video. And, yesterday, we broke... let me pull this up. MT, a $75 super chat. Thank you so much, MT MindTab. Everyone, please thank MT MindTab for that $75 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Yesterday, we broke here on the channel 49,000 subscribers, so we're less than 1,000 away from the big 50,000 subscribers. So if you could like the video, when you like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm that our members, Wookiees just put it out there. My wife Kathy made a new emoji for members, and it's an emoji of me. So, oh yeah, Joe Bud's a good guy. I have known Joe Bud for many, many years, and he's a good guy. That's why I had him in, and I'm looking forward to voting for him. But hey guys, I got to run. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.